Hey everybody, Nicole here with Repairs First. So with me I have Brittany with Brittany Rick's Bookkeeping, and we're going to go over bookkeeping, why you should have bookkeeping, and some different services that she offers. One of the cool things about Brittany is that she actually owns a cell phone store. So not only does she do bookkeeping, but she has insight into the particulars of the industry that you're in. So I think that's extremely valuable. If you're watching the replay here and you want to get the benefit that she has, which we'll talk about, just go into rfamembers.com and enter the form, and you can, take part in the discounts that she's going to be offering. Also, we're going to be running a 4-week session about bookkeeping, and Brittany will be joining me from time to time in those sessions to go over QuickBooks Online, different transactions, report reading, all types of things. So keep an eye out for that if you're really, really interested in bookkeeping and this is something that you want to learn more about or just have questions. Make sure to join those sessions as well. Okay, Brittany, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and your company, and then you can get started.
All right, thank you so much, Nicole. Welcome to everybody that's on this session. I am Brittany Ricks. I do own a repair shop, a cell phone and computer repair shop. I have owned and managed a couple of different shops for 6+ years now. When I opened an independent shop, which is Tech Pros in Southern Utah, I did start doing the bookkeeping side of it as well as managing and repairing and all of that. And I just really enjoyed it and wanted to start offering those services to other repair shops because I felt like that was probably a need that was there. I have taken several tens of hours of bookkeeping classes, and I'm certified as a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. So I'm very well versed in QuickBooks Online, which is what I specialize in.
And it's not easy. It's not easy to get certified. So it's not like you just go in and you take a little questionnaire. They really do question you.
It's a little bit more than that.
I have my certification too, just for me, like just to keep it, you know what I mean? And like keep up to date. But I understand. And I just want everybody to know that you really have to know your stuff to be able to get certified. So
yes, yeah, and it is something that I recertify every year. So it's an ongoing process.
I can vouch for her on that.
Oh, thank you. So first off, I wanted to talk a little bit about why outsourcing your bookkeeping is a good idea for business owners rather than doing it themselves. So I do have a little slide show about that, and I'll just kind of talk through it. So this is just a little bit more about me. I was the manager of a U-Break-I-Fix repair location for 5 years, and then I am a co-owner and manager of Tech Pros, like I said. I do both. I still do repair in shop and manage that, as well as the bookkeeping that I offer. I do specialize in repair shops, so I have several clients that are either repair shops or they're like buying and selling devices with repair mixed in there a little bit. And so that helps me really understand the dynamics of the business because I've been in it and I understand how those businesses work and kind of the ebb and flow of the transactions and everything that goes along with that. So my goal as a bookkeeper is to deliver accurate numbers and reports that help business owners make financial decisions about their business with the numbers that they need. Some signs that you might want to outsource your bookkeeping is if you are struggling when it comes to tax time and you are freaking out because you have no idea what you need and your CPA is breathing down your back about what you need. It's probably a sign that you could use some help in that department. I do not file taxes for you, but I can work with your accountant, CPA person, to make sure that they have everything that they need and in a timely manner so that you have those done. If you maybe had a bookkeeper in the past and they're behind or they quit and now you have no idea where your stuff is at, it's probably time to hire somebody to help you out with that so that you can focus on your business while they focus on getting your stuff up to date. One thing that's really important is having the reports and information and numbers that you need if you're planning to grow your business. Say you want to add a second location, or you're seeking financings for something else. Having those reports and everything up to date when you need them is extremely important. Another thing is, if you are trying to do it yourself and you're just feeling stressed by it, and it's in the back of your mind and waking you up at night and keeping you stressed on a daily basis, then outsource that to somebody who enjoys that work. So most small businesses, if they're doing their bookkeeping themselves, it's taking them 10 to 15 hours per month. And that is time that they could spend growing their business or marketing in another way, or doing repairs themselves, things like that. If they're handling like their billing or their payroll and everything like that, it can push it up to 25 hours a month. And that's a lot of time that you're spending on stuff that you possibly don't enjoy as much as the running of your business. Outsourcing it can cut the time that you spend on books by 50 to 70%. Having a bookkeeper doesn't take it 100% off your plate, because I would still be asking owners questions every once in a while, and having meetings with them about their monthly reports and answering any questions that they have. So it's not completely off your plate, but I do lighten the load quite a bit. Time spent on books is time not spent on generating revenue. You can't be working your business if you are working on your books. So you want to focus on revenue activities like marketing, sales, and repairs, rather than sitting on QuickBooks Online and trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing. Having a third-party perspective and reports and everything for strategic decisions is very helpful when you are looking at the profitability and room for growth of your business.
Hey, Brittany, I think you're sharing the wrong screen.
Are you talking through the PowerPoint here? What page are you on?
So it should say why outsource your books on the top of it.
No, we're looking at a PowerPoint, like the actual PowerPoint screen. If you click the slide, there you go. Now we can see the page that you're on.
Okay.
There you go.
Did that fix it?
It did. It says why outsource your books.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that was on the wrong page the whole time.
I didn't realize it either.
All right.
We were just on the first page.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
So you can easily scale up your business as it grows by having your accurate numbers. And it helps you be ready at tax time, having those up to date and not having to do some catch-up work in order to get your accountant the information that they need. Okay, and this is a little bit more about me.
Are you on the next page? You might want to click the next page, maybe. There you go.
Here, I'll just leave it like this because it's not.
Yeah.
Not working the way it's supposed to.
There you go.
So I do tailor QuickBooks. I know what needs to be done for repair businesses specifically, because that's what I specialize in. I do offer reports monthly. The ones that I typically offer are balance sheet and profit and loss, but if you want a cash flow option, I can do that as well. And then I am located in Southern Utah, but I have clients across the whole US. Okay, so as far as what exactly I offer, I do the weekly, daily management of transactions, making sure that those are reconciled every month with your bank accounts and credit cards. And then I do provide several different reports, like I said, cash flow, profit loss, balance statements. As of right now, I don't manage payroll. That is something that I am currently working on certification of. So I will be offering that in the future, but I don't at the moment. Like I said earlier, I don't prepare or file your taxes, but I can work with your tax person that you use to make sure that they have the information that they need. I don't at the moment do accounts payable or accounts receivable.
If they, let me ask you about the tax thing. So say, for
Okay.
example, that, and I'm just purely asking. So it's, you either do or you don't. It doesn't, every bookkeeper's different. So some bookkeepers, they'll like, if you have a question, like, is this able to be written off? Are you able to tell them that based on their structure, or do they need to refer to their tax person? Like, can they write this off, and how should it be put on the books properly? Because I've seen it different ways.
So I would refer them to their tax person, just
Mhm.
because I do work with people in several locations and their tax rules might be a little bit different. So I would definitely refer them to their tax professional.
Yeah, that's mainly what I do too in my past, because I never also know, especially like companies that have a CPA they use every year, like
Mhm.
I don't even know how they prefer to see it,
Yes.
or how they prefer it to be recorded. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
yeah, totally get that. Okay.
Any other questions at this point? All right. All right. So this just goes over it a little bit more. Having me as your bookkeeper, your records are going to be complete and accurate before your filing deadlines. I have access to like your reconciled financial statements, and I can get those to you whenever you need them to, or I can send them directly to your CPA if you don't want to be like the middleman. And again, I provide profit and loss and balance statements. Okay, that's the end of that one. So I'm gonna stop sharing at the moment. All right. Before I go into like my pricing and things like that, does anybody have any questions?
Like the number one question is how
that is the number one question. So pricing
Nathan unmuted. Will you get a question, Nathan?
I mean, I have lots of questions, but I can be patient and wait.
No,
Okay.
go ahead.
I mean, there's a lot of people in front of me, so I need to be, Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll go ahead and just fire away. So I know you had mentioned something about balance sheet and profit and loss reports. Are you able to provide additional like customized reports? Like, for example, I have a template that gives us not only the P&L over the last, I don't know, 12 months for trending analysis, but it also has sections that break down and do things like, it helps us figure out what is our direct labor efficiency ratio, what is our management labor efficiency ratio, what is our contribution margin, management labor, like all of those things that are built on top of or pulled because of the P&L report. Are we able to have customized reporting, a customized reporting process that you send out on a monthly basis?
Yes, if that's something that you need, then that's definitely something that I can provide for you.
Okay. Yeah, because I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like eight Excel tabs of reports that obviously get, all of that data is pulled from QuickBooks. And then based off of the formulas, it'll help pull in the information. So
that's great.
that would take a good amount of time off of my plate on having to create those. When it comes to the reconciliation of like the undeposited funds with the credit cards, or I mean, even the expenses, what would you say is your leeway time on that? Like, is it a week? Do you have them caught up? Like, it'll be caught up to a week. So if I were to pull up my QuickBooks, I'll know that I have, there's probably a week's worth of expenses that's still in limbo.
So I try to keep everything up to date weekly.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Awesome. So anytime during the, you'll give them the notice or whatever. Or do you notify them, or they just know like go to check in around this certain time?
Yeah, that's something that we would discuss in like the client onboarding meetings that we would have. Find out exactly how often they want to be able to check it. If they're wanting those like up to date more than once a week, I'd say there'd probably be an extra charge for that, just because it does take more time than like weekly or twice a month kind of reconciliation stuff.
Right. Okay. So one aspect of the business that we do is, so we have a buttload of like reoccurring revenue. So we have a lot of things that get processed as far as like our undeposited funds and that. Obviously you do have, it sounds like it's flexible for us to have like a negotiated premium if we wanted our books, like let's say I want them up to date, where there's like a 3-day buffer.
Yes.
There is that possibility. Okay.
That's good to know. And a lot of people don't think about that, right? That's a good question that you bring up. Like, is that flexible? Because some bookkeepers may say, well, this day on each month, everything will be current, right? Or maybe, once a week, like you're saying, or every other week. So to know that that's adjustable, and because some people do want to be daily, but that is a lot more cumbersome and a lot more work on you. I mean, you have to, for it to be up to date every other day, that's transactions up to every other day that you're stopping and entering or making sure it's entered properly, because of course you might not be typing them in, but you have to ensure they're tied in the back end properly and all of that kind of stuff, right? Because I think also with and I'm not saying Nathan thinks this, because it sounds like he's well educated himself on bookkeeping a little bit there, and he probably understands a lot more than the regular business owner. But they see QuickBooks Online, and they see this automation tied in where it can just like categorize all your expenses, and bam, it's in there, right? But it's not always accurate.
No,
and it's not. And I will go on record and saying QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks people that work for them are not accurate either all the time. I personally, about 4 or 5 years ago, switched to QuickBooks Online. I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 3. But and when I switched, it was a nightmare, and I ended up having to get. And now, I mean, I do bookkeeping all the time. I'm not confused, but I'm like, your system's doing something wrong, right? Like your software is wrong. And they're telling me, no, our software is doing right. You're doing it. No, I'm not. I do this every day. I'm definitely not going to do my own books wrong. Something's off with your software. And I went through, I'm telling you, a month worth of back and forth on the phone with them. And they were charging me for a bookkeeper, right? Because I was like, let me hire this bookkeeper and see if it just helped me manage my stuff, right? Made a complete mess of my books. By the time it was ended, they had me like on the phone with like a superior who was apologizing to me. They credited me for all the things that I paid. They gave me a couple months credit on the subscription. And then she was like, can I hire you? Because no one's been able to figure out this issue, and you've literally identified it and forced your way to management. I was like, no, I don't want to work for QuickBooks. But this is just, I promise you, like, I'm not lying. I'm not just telling a story. I mean, this actually happened. So even going directly to QuickBooks, and you're doing QuickBooks Online on your own, don't think it's you if you see a problem, because their software has issues. It double imports transactions. It codes them wrong, even though you set up the rule a certain way. So you really have to have someone that understands QuickBooks Online and isn't afraid to even question the software itself, because they do have some small issues,
Yeah, I mean, QuickBooks Online, what I found is it updates whenever it wants to without you knowing. And and even so, we have a lot of rules set up because I've got all of my quote unquote departments, underneath our cost of goods. We have it broken out by departments, whether it's a retail, whether it's a computer, whether it's a hardware as a service, software as a service. And we have specific cards that we use that are tied to those. So that way it's easier, where we can have a rule, right? So our bookkeeper can easily say, okay, let me verify. Great, it's on that card. Let me go ahead and click submit. Well, QuickBooks took an update 2 months ago. We have over 100 rules and completely messed up all of our rules. So you can't just go off of that. So having that human being behind it is extremely important.
Yeah. Totally agree. Totally agree with you. Thank you for that, Nathan, because you're speaking from personal experience.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
100%. And I mean, I don't, one of the things that I prefer any sort, I'm not going to move to any software that does not have a QuickBooks integration. Straight up, like that's just it. I don't know if Brittany has found a software that will pull over the tax, sales tax information over accurately or not, but I
I
know.
haven't. That takes quite a bit of work to get all of that sales tax over.
Well, yeah, and is that something? I know you said that you don't handle right now, um, accounts payable or AR.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the issues that we have at the moment is so our software that we use to track all of our tickets and stuff, whenever it syncs the invoice over, it doesn't necessarily now with QuickBooks' automated sales tax, it doesn't do a good job sometimes of categorizing it to the tax account that we tell it to. So for example, we have we have one location that is an hour away from another one, and 30 minutes from one of those locations, the tax rate is different. But we don't charge that tax rate. We charge based off of the store's tax rates.
Mm-hmm.
And so, or the counties, I should say. And so, we're fighting with two different, one company QuickBooks files, everything separated by different classes. So we have each store, or each store is set up as its own class underneath the same
Mm-hmm.
company QuickBooks file. And the issue that we run into is sometimes when invoices sync over to QuickBooks, the tax changes because the system is sending over the information and QuickBooks is pulling it as the shipping to address instead of the store's address, which is causing some issues from the tax perspective. So I don't know if that's something that you can work through and be like, oh, this isn't supposed to be, this isn't correct. We go ahead and change that.
I mean, I could definitely take a look, and if I don't know the answer right off the bat, I do work with a couple mentors that they know everything. So I'm really good at finding the answer if I don't have it.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
resources.
do you have the capability of paying sales tax on behalf of the company?
So I don't do the tax part of it. No.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Would you give them like reports? Would they know what they need to pay, or would they, like, if the company, if they have sales tax, like, is there a way they can pull the report to know what they need to go in and actually pay?
Yes, there's ways to pull reports.
Yeah, there's a sales tax. There's a tax report.
Okay. But then you can, if that's a part of the reports, they wanted you to send them monthly or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, say they don't get in QuickBooks at all. I mean, I'm sure there's some people that are going to watch this that
Yep.
are going to be in it, but be like a deer in headlights. But you might have someone like Nathan that knows how to go in and pull reports. But, you might have someone like, I just need you to send me something every month so I know what to pay,
Yep. There's definitely a wide range.
Yeah. Great. Anything else, Nathan? Did you have other questions?
I think that actually covered all of the major ones that I had.
Okay, well, thank you.
And I think we have
absolutely.
Eric on here with Advanced Cellular. So if you have any questions, Eric, feel free to unmute and ask away. Yeah, go ahead, Brittany. Let's talk about some of your pricing packages.
Okay.
And then what is your deal for RFA members?
Yeah. So with bookkeeping, pricing can be really specific depending on exactly what the owner wants with the services that I provide. Basically, if we're talking about a single location that has less than 10 accounts and credit cards that would be reconciled monthly, you're looking at a range between $300 and $650 a month. And that just depends on how complex the business is. If there's additional locations, it's going to be probably $200 to $300 per location, depending again on how complex each of them is. And then for books catching up. So I'm not talking about the books were already done and they were done wrong and they need to be cleaned up, because I would I have somebody that I can refer people to that they do that as a standalone service, is cleaning up the books. But if they just haven't been touched and need to be caught up for a few months, then you're looking at $100 a month for catch-up work. And then what was I going to say?
Now, does that price, that's a good price. When I hear that, is that based on like the number of bank accounts? Like, say somebody comes to you and they've got 12 bank accounts and they need to catch up the last 2 years. Is it still $100 a month?
So businesses that have more than 10, it's going to be a little bit different price range because it is so much more time intensive with multiple accounts like that. So it'd probably not be that much more. It'd maybe be 200 instead of the 100 per month. But it all just depends on how complex and how many transactions we're talking per month and stuff like that.
Okay.
And as far as the RFA member benefit that I offer, it is 10% off whatever your monthly charge is. So depending on when we would have like a client setup meeting, then I would determine like how complex things are going to be, and I'd give you the exact quote for that cost.
Okay, awesome. Okay. All right. Yeah. And I do agree with you. I mean, the bookkeeping can be, it really, you have to learn about your client. So if you guys are watching this, don't be afraid to reach out to a bookkeeper and just tell them what's going on in your business, what you have, and get a custom quote, because it is very hard for a bookkeeper to have a flat rate and just say everybody's going to be charged this. So be kind if you reach out to her and the price varies, because it really is determined on your business, and their level of knowledge about what you're doing. And, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to sell you, Brittany, but just to add on to that with what Nicole was saying, I would be shocked if you gave me that price, because our books, I would like to say they're all caught up, but they're also complicated. Like I have well over 700 transactions that have to be categorized, matched, and posted. And that doesn't even count what has to be reconciled underneath our undeposited funds in the credit cards. Right. So like there's so many different variables, and depending on the complexity, it could be super cheap. But I'm like, shoot, if you can meet me at 600, like
yeah,
we're
it
good.
sounds
But
like what you've got on is,
I wouldn't even expect that. Like that.
Yeah.
I already know that my stuff's complex. So
yes,
I feel the same way, Nathan.
higher.
I feel the same way. If I was going to go to Brittany, I would not even expect her to be able to say a price without looking at everything. 'Cause, I mean, I am either own or part owned 7 companies. All of them have more than one bank account. All of them go into different QuickBooks that I'm tied. I could never go to a bookkeeper and say, what is your price? Like, I'm like, let me tell you. Can I screen share? Let me show.
Yes. Show me what you got going on.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the truth. I had one company who was like, "Oh yeah, for somebody like that, it would be $600." And then I was like, "Well, hang on, let me show you." Like, "Oh yeah, no, that's gonna be like $2,300." I'm like, "Oh, see, yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah."
Especially where I think you said you have multiple locations. It definitely complicates things with classing and everything like that.
Yeah, because we have 4 different classes. We do not only the repair side, but we also do MSP services. So we have a lot of the reoccurring revenue that comes in from that, and a lot of that has to be split up based off of different COGS, and so it is a little bit more complex.
That's awesome. Sounds like you're doing a lot, Nathan. That's great.
Trying to.
Yeah, I get that. That's great. Yeah. So if you guys are even afraid of bookkeepers, you can trust Brittany. You can reach out to her. She understands your business, and just let her see how she can help you. And if you're someone who's basing bookkeeping on pricing, it shows that you haven't hired probably a true bookkeeper. So just keep that in mind, that if you're coming in, you're saying, "Oh, I'm not," then you really don't know what you're getting. You're getting as someone that's an expert that's going to go in and really manage something for you and handle it and make sure it's good. So it's worth it, especially when you get to a certain level. If you're someone who's just starting out in business, maybe, you've got 10 transactions a month. This may be a little bit, I mean, it can still be good for you, but, it's different than someone like Nathan that's got all this stuff going on. A bookkeeper is invaluable to his daily operations of his business running properly in preparation of taxes, which none of us can escape. You can try, but if you're going to run a successful business, you're going to have to file taxes,
Yes.
So,
and I will say, with the people that are maybe like just starting out their business and everything, it's still invaluable to have a professional get you started from the ground up. And that's money that's well worth spent, making sure that everything's right from the start and you're not going back up and cleaning up later because you just kind of pushed it to the side and tried to ignore it.
Exactly. Or you're using a paper book, or,
Yes.
Yeah. See, we've seen lots of different things, I'm sure, huh? People they try to pull it together, So this has been really great, Brittany. Thank you so much. Anybody last questions or anything before we go? Again, if you're a member and you want to take advantage of the discount, just fill out the form on the RFA members platform. Otherwise, we'll put her website and everything below this video so you guys can reach out to her.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. Everybody have a great day.
Thanks.
You too. Thank you.